But when's Sam gonna talk?
What?
When's Sam gonna talk?
She's not.
Oh.
This isn't plugged in. Welcome to the show. Welcome, everyone. To the episode. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you to my guest Cameron. You and I are matching. This is like a weirdly Christmassy theme.
Wow.
Yes.
This
Y'all
is great.
are matching.
I do like this
And
a lot.
It's November.
In the middle? I don't
Yes.
know.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yes, the Christmas flowers that everyone knows.
exactly.
They put it on their Christmas mantle.
Yeah. And we're wearing our Christmas maroon.
You joke, Cameron, there is a Christmas flower,
a
but I'm not
Christmas
wearing
man.
it.
Yeah, but isn't that it's like red, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a poinsettia.
Poinsettias.
Oh.
Is this real?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You know what? You know what a poinsettia is.
I know what a
It's
poinsettia
the
is.
one
I don't-
flower you see
This
every
is like
time
when everybody
you're
talks
in-
about their birthstones, and I'm like, that's white people made up.
Yeah.
Keon, cut this.
Yeah. No, don't cut this. This is the story now. This is the actual plot now of this entire interview thing.
So thank you all for being here. We're doing the Marvels. We saw the Marvels day of. What today's Saturday? Yeah, we saw it release day.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it was good. It was good.
What,
Yeah.
Thank you
I
for
feel
goodbye.
like, considering how happy we all are about the movie, the way you just set us up for that makes it sound like this was just like the worst experience.
It was because half the screen was fucking covered. Remember?
That's true.
We went to the theater and like looking. This part of the frame was like covered up. Did you not notice that?
No.
Also, there was like a
Oh
big
my God.
speck on the
I did not
screen I
notice this.
could not notice.
Yeah. There was like a little spot.
I have dead pixels on my projector, and I still noticed that.
But you're not paying $40 to watch a movie
That's
at your home.
true. Well, I wasn't paying $40 to.
Yeah,
you were.
I paid
Cameron-
for the film.
Yeah.
Cameron got in for free.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. You paid for snacks.
Yeah.
That's great. Wow.
So-
I drove.
Of course, this was a great experience for you.
Yeah, it was. I've never enjoyed this kind of like movie going time since I was a child.
Yeah.
Normally, I have to pay and also want to go to the movie.
Exactly. So yeah, we went and saw the Marvels, and yeah, during the screening, like this part of the screen was covered up. I just turned to Jessica and was just like, I'm gonna be upset. And then as it kept going on, part of the film was like this part justified stuff was like half covered up. So what was it? Monica Rambeau's character, I don't know why, but she was like on this side of the screen like most of the movie. I was like, I would love to see her face.
Yeah,
at
there
any
was
point.
like, and they would
It'd be
keep
great.
talking about their special like mascot in the spaceship. The
Yeah.
like every time they're like, and it's Glorby, and they would pan over, but for some reason Glorby was
Exactly.
only in that one part of the frame.
Something interesting I thought about this movie is that it did the previews for it, which was like a week ago, started right as the SAG-AFTRA strike. I think they lifted they're actually in negotiations, so they lifted the ban on SAG-AFTRA members being able to do interviews. So this is like the first Marvel movie where people can talk about it, and all of the interviews are so wholesome. Wait, what were you gonna say?
I don't think this is the first Marvel movie ever that they've been able to talk about it, Keon.
No, distinctly Tony Stark.
Tony Stark, yes.
Fuck, what is the actor's name?
Robert Downey Jr.
Robot Downey Jr.
Robot Downey Jr. That works way too well.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Robot Downey
yeah.
Jr. famously, every single time he would talk, Robot Danny
Danny
Jr.
Jr.
Yes.
Okay.
Every single time he would talk on camera to promote the movie, they would have to hand him $1 million.
Exactly, yeah.
Like you, as
Yes.
soon as if you paid attention as the camera was about to cut, you would see a man holding a bag of $1 million in a frame. You could count it.
The robot runs on money.
It runs on money,
exactly.
yeah.
Robot Downey Jr.
Money go in the top, curse words come out the bottom.
Okay, fuck. Where was I? Yeah, the
interviews.
interviews. Yes. What fuck?
Iman Vellani.
Vellani, yeah. Iman Vellani is the most
She's amazing.
wholesome thing I've ever
She
seen.
could. I think she has enough charisma to carry the next phase of the MCU.
Yes.
If it's
yeah.
just like a kids like Spy Kids esque, like just teens going on adventures stuff.
I mean, Quantum Mania basically looked like Spy Kids 3D.
That
so
was
you're not wrong.
Yeah, that was my favorite
Yes.
part was when they did the big race.
I did love the part where all of the quantum things are like, put on your 3D glasses now. It was pretty great.
That's actually very nice because there's a surprising amount of the movie that was in 2D for some reason. So they had to like put up a big card that said put on 3D glasses
They
now
were
for the next
really
5
stressing
minutes.
out their VFX artists.
Yeah.
So they're like, we only have a budget for half 3D movie. We can't do the whole thing. I keep forgetting that Brie Larson not only is an Oscar award-winning actress, she won Best Actress in 2016, but also she's a very talented singer. She was in Scott Pilgrim as Clash of Demon Head singer.
Oh yeah.
But she also, I don't know if you guys know about this, released an album in 2009. Finally, PE's over, or the end of PE or something.
2009?
No, 2005. That was it. It was 2005, I think.
Brie Larson wasn't like Disney Channel or Nickelodeon,
No,
like
I don't think she was.
pipeline, right?
No, because she is exactly channeling Avril Lavigne. Do you want to pause the recording so I can show you?
I think
All
we
right.
need this.
It's
yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yes.
Fucking look at her.
Wait, that's Brie Larson?
That's Brie Larson. It said Brie. That's her.
Oh my god.
It's
I
fucking awesome.
honestly thought this was just Avril Lavigne.
She poisons these two women for no reason. It's awesome. Well, that's enough of that. You're very welcome.
That was
Thank
just
you.
Avril Lavigne.
It basically, yeah. No, this is one of their better reviewed movies. Two things that I wanted to mention that I thought were really interesting is that one, this is the shortest MCU movie. I think it's an hour and 48 minutes.
Really, it felt long.
Yeah, it felt like average length.
I should be clear. It didn't feel long. It wasn't like I was sitting there like, when is it going to be over? It was
Yeah.
I was surprised by how much was going on.
Yeah.
Considering you just told me it's an hour and 48 minutes.
Yeah, and like the dream script is like 100 pages, which is, what is that, hour 40 minutes?
I don't know.
No,
Sure, Keon.
I'm sorry. Okay, the conversion rate is that a script, every page is a minute. So 100 pages would be an hour and 40
That
minutes.
sounds like some Philip J. Fry shit. Like, I wrote it in 15 minutes, so it must take 15 minutes to read.
No, like literally, this is like the conversion rate on film. So that, but then also, the reason I bring that up is because Ant-Man Quantumania was 2 hours and 5 minutes. And fuck me, did that feel like an eternity, that movie.
It felt the full 2 hours.
And the reason why I bring up Quantumania, not besides we are liking to roast it, but you also like a movie called Thor: Love and Thunder?
I do, in fact, like that movie. It was very entertaining to me. I thought it had a very nice message, even though it was the typical amount of convoluted for MCU movie.
This is fair. Now, all three of these movies shot at the exact same time.
Really?
Yeah, and I would say that all three of the movies have a lot to do with COVID, especially this one. Should we go into the plot now?
Yes.
Sure.
Wait, last thing. Because Thor: Love and Thunder came out in 2022. Ant-Man Quantumania came out early this year. Fun fact, and reason why, after we saw this movie, we were like, where the fuck does this fit in the MCU? Because of things we'll go into later. This movie was supposed to come out in July of 2022 and kept getting pushed back. Presumably because what people have mentioned is because of Chadwick Boseman died. And so because of that, they retooled the second Black Panther movie, and that caused everything to be pushed around. November 2022 is when I think they released that.
And they still gave Anthony Hopkins the Oscar?
Oh my God. Oh, don't get me started on that. And then he wasn't even there. It was like in a Zoom call being like, I
really thought Chadwick was just going to win this. It just seemed right. I don't need another one.
Okay, so it was going to come out in July of 2022?
It got pushed back 4 times.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny, because I would say of all the movies we just made fun of, this was probably one of the stronger, if not the strongest.
And I feel like it had a lot of time to bake, because they were saying that because this got pushed back, it got more post time, like post production time. And so most of it looked pretty great. I'd say that like a lot of the VFX looked pretty great. And the last thing I'm going to mention as a trivia thing before we get into the actual plot is that one of the touch points that the visual effects artist used during one of the final sequences was Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. They're on record saying that movie fucking rips. And so these motherfuckers, these hot anime kids are flying through the air at 1,000,000 miles an hour. We want to do that with Captain Marvel. Fuck yeah.
Well, dilly dally shilly shally can. Let's get into this actual plot.
What was that noise? Was that you?
Probably my shoe, yeah. No, now you just have mice.
Well, fingers crossed my new filter that I put on the video will not hear that. And
I'll make a squeaky noise so that everyone can hear it.
There we go.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
Well, speaking of mice, cats.
Yes.
Objectively, one of the best.
Best part of the
who
movie.
knew the best Cats movie would come from the MCU?
It was better than the other Cats movie. I'll say that much.
Wait, do you have the cat?
Oh, it's in the car.
You bought a spoiler.
Yes,
and we just kept
my
yelling
fucking
about
God.
it. It was
Yes,
so
we
funny.
went to AMC and we're like, wow, a cool little popcorn thing. This is great. What the fuck does this have to do with the movie? And then mid movie, I like picked it up and handed it to camera. I'm like, we bought a fucking spoiler. Also, by the way, did you know that in the Marvel Comics, Saber is not a thing? It's
did
like
not
an
know
MCU thing.
Before we get into it, I'll just say, for anyone, before we get into spoilers, I was surprised by how little you actually needed to watch other properties to get what was going on in this movie.
Yeah.
That's because, Cameron, they did a recap for you.
Animation padding, effing legend.
Yes.
I was surprised how much like flashbacks there were in a deliberate moment
No,
where
it's
it's
just
like,
media from the other movies.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but literally it's like these three characters don't know each other. Let's show them.
Which to your point of there was more time to make the VFX look better, that also helps. They just had less to do.
yeah, fuck it.
There was less runtime. They had some, flashbacks in there. They took a lot of lessons from anime. Like they just like were like.
It turns out when you don't kill your VFX staff, you can make a decent movie and no one has to die for it.
I would love that. I would love for the VFX staff to be like Disney like has the cracking the whip and they're just like it's crunch time and then they gets pushed back again and they're just like what? Like they take at least a deep breath and they're like, what is this feeling? What's happening? Why can't I actually like think straight? This is amazing. And yeah, surprisingly, the VFX were pretty great in this movie. Like it
I will say there was one scene where I turned to Sam. I was like, "This looks like it came out of StarCraft," because there's like missions in StarCraft where you just control the heroes and they'll just like land in a spot and explode out, and it's like from really far away from that like isometric viewpoint.
Yeah.
And it just looked like Kerrigan doing like some sort of psi blast when like Brie Larson lands on one of the
there
early
were
shots.
there were a few attack scenes where it's like the characters are really far away and the actions are really far away, so you're getting kind of like a shot from
God, they
a
love their
bird's eye
punches,
view
yeah.
kind of shot of things. Those looked a little janky, but I don't know how else you're gonna get that well.
I did like seeing when Brie Larson ulted.
Yeah, she hit the Q button.
yeah. Play of the game.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah. And that considering how I mentioned all of this stuff was filmed at the same time, Quantumania, Thor Love and Thunder, and this movie, this was the only of the three movies that felt like it was kind of built around that. Quantumania was like, we're all on a soundstage and behind us could be fucking anything. And then Thor Love and Thunder was like, you could tell these people were in the same place, but that's okay. Like it was more or less fine. This movie was like, there's three people here. These are the three main characters. Everything else could be CGI. Let's just have them quarantine together and just fuck around on a ship. Fucking great. It worked out really well, I think, for the movie.
No, that's the craziest thing about this movie is they like found an interesting quirk and they like had three people who had surprisingly good chemistry. Ms. Marvel is like just like adorable and hokey because she's just like a fangirl.
Yeah.
Brie Larson is just like sad.
Yes.
But she's also like putting on a face and it's not annoying. She wears it well. It works. And then Monica Rambeau has to be my least favorite character in every one of these medias where she's like oh no, they've done a thing with the space-time, blah, blah, blah. What does that mean? It means they tore a hole in... Yeah, we can see that.
No.
It's right there.
Nope.
It's a big hole.
Nope. She's my favorite. She was the mom. She was the Donatello of like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up for a second.
Yeah.
Just let me stop. Like the entire movie, I was like, yeah, I feel you. It was
Just to be clear, Monica Rambeau was great. The character was great. I'm just saying I can't stand it. It feels like they completely ripped the movie in half just to pause to make that bit. It doesn't matter what movie it is.
Yeah. I appreciate that type of character, but I feel like each character had their own individual cool thing to do. And God, like Ms. Marvel, what the most wholesome thing in the MCU right now. She said Bismillah again.
I was about to say that, man. Like that was I know people give this latest phase of like the MCU a lot of crap. A lot of it well deserved. But there's still like those moments. I know you've been enjoying it a lot. But like for me and Keon, when we watched Ms. Marvel and we're like, yeah, this is like your typical run-of-the-mill MCU TV show. It's But there were so many like little sprinkled references to just growing up with like a Muslim background or just being a brown person or anything that has to do with not being a white person, that it was just like we would just explode in laughter in a way that I don't think you could ever understand.
Well, it was like it was like a deep reference. It was like when we first saw Iron Man, it was like, I know that. Then this was like, oh, I know that from my childhood. Like,
it's nice because in Iron Man, the bad guy spoke the language we speak. But in this one, the good guy spoke the language we speak. What a wild difference.
Two best parts were that the heartthrob's name was Kamran.
I hate that. I hated that. I can't get over it. I hate it.
The second best part was when the mom was just like, I know you're going to a party and there's going to be a lot of haram there. It's fucking awesome. This is the good shit, guys. Come on. This is
I've never felt more seen than when the mom fat shames the cat in this movie.
Oh my fucking God.
I was like, oh my God.
I think by the end of the year, we need to do like a popcorn bucket tier list for this year.
Yes.
Because like we've seen so many this year.
We've gotten a lot of them.
Yeah. welcome to the unboxing portion of the episode, where this is the popcorn bucket. And when we saw it like on the screen of like, you can get this popcorn button, I literally thought it was like this big. And then they moved out of the way. I was like, what the fuck? This is enormous.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I think they're all stupid. This is obviously a ploy by capitalism
Wow, thanks, Cameron.
to spend money on things you don't need that are dumb. This is literally just like, I was like, wow, look, a big stupid egg you can put your popcorn in.
Yeah.
Now
great.
open the egg.
Sam,
Is there a button?
No, you just, wait, how? I think it's closed. What the fuck? Okay, there we go. Ta-da! It's a little cat, and this is the one that
And
I
I
wanted.
still thought that was pretty stupid. I was like, oh, look,
Oh
a
my
little
gosh,
cat
it's so
inside.
They had like 5
This is
different types.
Dumb.
Wait, is
But
it
then
a
I
cup?
found it. Yes.
Yeah, yes.
That
Wait,
was
you
the
didn't
moment
know
I was
that?
like,
No,
that's
y'all
incredible.
did the unboxing when I
That's
went
the
to the
best part.
bathroom.
Now for the part that immediately undoes how cool that is.
The most horrifying thing.
This is the cat with its head off.
You undo its ears.
It's horrifying. It's
awful.
They could have found a better,
No,
less
it's
intrusive.
still cute.
It's kind
Look
of
at
messed up.
that.
This is
though. It looks
adorable.
like where you
It's
put your
still
gas
cute.
in your car.
Jesus.
Okay,
But it
well-
literally does look like an item that is completely divorced from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like
How would you clean this?
you don't. That's why
Yeah.
I deliberately did not put anything in that day of. I'm like, I'm not washing that
At least
now.
Optimus Prime was just a big bowl.
Optimus Prime is fucking great. I still
It's a
have that
big
above
bed.
my fridge. I do love that it closes perfectly so the ears. And then there's like feet holes. So you can
Really?
yeah, you can keep it propped up.
Yeah, but you can only do that once. You put the popcorn in, you pull it out, and now the popcorn is
Wait,
filled
where
with feet
would?
holes.
Oh, so the popcorn would go in in the top of the egg,
I think the
you do
popcorn just
either.
goes
and then you'd
wherever.
have.
So this movie, the
Yes.
plot. Okay.
And he
Aw.
broke it.
Perfect. So this movie is about the Marvels.
Yes.
2 of them actually named a Marvel, and one of them they
just
made
Marvelous.
just kept up making a Marvel name for her.
Mm-hmm.
Monica Rambeau's character in WandaVision was called Photon, or at least that was how they were in the credits, because in the comics they go by Photon.
Mm-hmm.
Then in this movie, they're like, we'll call you Professor Marvel, or we'll shop around a name, which is fucking adorable because
She
it's
has
just,
a PhD.
Yeah,
she could be Dr. Marvel.
She could. I wouldn't mind that.
That would have
Yeah.
been pretty funny.
But in the credits or everything I looked online, she's Spectrum. That's what they named her character.
Spectrum?
Like
Really?
the like the company, like the internet company.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's why she's so fucking annoying. And just giving you random. I'm kidding. No, she was great. I really enjoyed her character. I just hate Spectrum. Anyway,
We all do.
God. So that was really weird about her character. And then all the other people are Marvel. So there's Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel. And I do love that immediately when they meet, Miss Marvel is just like, I hope I'm not copyright infringing. I realize now I probably should have asked permission before I named myself that. It was really nice. It was very cute when they were all interacting together.
Unfortunately, Brie Larson does not defend her brand. Captain Marvel can't actually sue her for infringement because she hasn't actually built that brand. This is the lawyer
Legally,
part.
this is a thing.
Yeah.
Also, Miss Marvel is doing the least amount of infringement because I don't think she's getting any kind of monetary gain at all from it, as opposed to
Well,
like
we don't know
all
that.
the other stuff that she apparently has bought that is being getting monetary gain, like all the posters, all the artwork, all the like.
If we're actually going to go into the legality of this, I don't think they're in competitive markets because she's only in New Jersey and Captain Marvel's in space.
Exactly.
I don't
I mean, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And also, copyright laws only on Earth.
It's like, shit, I signed it only for this planet.
Yeah.
Do you know that's the thing? They write in a contract that says this planet and all others within the multiverse for the perpetuity of the universe. Like they do that now.
In the movie?
No,
In-
sorry, we're talking legality.
In patents?
In contracts, yeah, just contracts. If you write like a song for somebody, they'll be like, we have the rights to these songs in perpetuity for till the heat death of the universe in every multiverse. Like shit, like this is real.
They don't, if I recall, they don't actually use the word multiverse.
I
So it's
don't
like
remember.
in like pretty much like all of reality
Yes.
till the end of time.
Yeah, the only reason I bring that up is because there was one dude that wrote that Brain song for Billy and Mandy, and he was fucking around and he's like, I want the rights to this song on Mars. And they're like, no. And so they would not even give it to him. Fucking great.
Wait, so does Avril Lavigne know that Brie Larson has the rights to all of her songs?
God, dude, that's close to copyright infringement. That fucking song. That's awesome. So yeah, so the movie starts out with a pretty good reason to, if you've seen any of the trailers, it's a reason to bring together all 3 of the Marvels, which is that the bad guy finds the bangle
Bad
bad person. So the bad person is found the bangle, is like, where the fuck's the other bangle? Miss Marvel has it. It's Miss Marvel's Grand Nan's bangle.
Mm-hmm.
And so that connects the two of them, but this person is also using that bangle to fuck with the quantum warp bridge thing.
Yeah, like so in the MCU, instead of just like normal space travel,
Yeah.
they have like these jump points so that you can instantaneously go between two places.
It looks like a hexagon.
Yeah, they do a lot more in Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
but like that's the thing is like there's something about the bangles allows them to make the jump points. That was the lore that they get to eventually.
They were used to create the first network of jump points and stuff like that. And so not only by having the bangle, but then also both Brie Larson and Captain Marvel and Photon or just Monica Rambeau are individually at the same time touching some fucked up like portals.
Yeah, portals that were destroyed because of the power of the bangle being misused.
And so that links all three of them, which I think was a pretty good way to bring them together in a way and make it interesting.
No, there was one touch that I thought was very clever, which is they only switch places when they use their light powers, which is what the bangles are, which also explains why the villain doesn't switch places with them. Because otherwise she should.
Yeah. I thought that would be like a third act thing that they would fold in, is that now it's all of them switching. And because the three of them have been doing it throughout the movie, she doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and then they can like fuck with her. Yeah, I mean, they didn't need to do that. But that was the one thing on the way to the movie theater, I literally was just like, the only thing that I want to happen is for all three of them to have to use this for some stupid reason. And it's going to be really fun. And I really fucking missed. I didn't realize how much I missed training montages. Oh my God.
That was cute.
It's so good.
It's really
like
cute.
them, what was it? Like throwing a piece of popcorn and then the other person catching it. It's like, yes.
I actually, and I thought in the movie they did do a good job of the choreography of playing around with the switching of them. I do think the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie did it a little better, but it was still fun. Of like the first big fight scene is when they're all just figuring out their switching powers, and it's like popping up into random areas. Like that was cute. That was creative.
Yeah.
Well, I also like that they didn't milk this like we don't want to be a team. They almost immediately are like, I guess we're just a team now because we can't get away from each other.
It was like, no, we need each other. We all need to.
Yeah.
And it was a good reason of like, no, we all need to be by each other because we can't risk switching into a random place.
Yeah.
We have to switch in the same location.
And that like, I really appreciate that this magic system had fucking rules. I miss that about
It's a good
going
hard
to-
magic system.
Yeah. And so they start out as like being super far apart. So every time they switch, they're in the middle of bumfuck nowhere being like, I'm scared and alone. What the fuck is going on? And so, and then also showing how kind of selfish each of the characters are a little bit, or at least more or less Captain Marvel, where she's like, okay, fuck this. I'm just going to fly away. And then immediately like teleports a non-flying character into the fucking stratosphere. It's fucking great. So yeah, so that's kind of the beginning of the movie. They all have a reason to come together. But in particular, it starts out with fucking Captain Marvel being in isolation, basically like COVID fucking quarantine, and being in the middle of outer space. And then she gets her friends to come quarantine with her. And haven't we all fucking been there? It's great.
And was like, oh, space is so alone. And now I'm not alone.
And she only had her cat with her, whose name is Goose. And you know what's funny about that? Brie Larson's allergic to cats. Every scene she had a cat with her, that was her stunt double. This is true.
Avril Lavigne would not be proud. Or would she? I don't actually know.
She had that one terrible song called Kitty.
About Hello Kitty.
Do you remember
that?
song?
No.
Cameron, it's wonderful.
All right.
It's a great song.
Keon,
Okay,
Keon?
Another pause.
one more time. I can see your soul leaving your body. God. Kawaii,
Yeah, no, this just seems like your typical like half English like pop music for Japanese people.
This is like Tommy Lee Jones in those Japanese
Oh my
commercials.
god, those are it's just. I mean, that's the point though. It's like it's not doesn't need to make sense.
Yeah, it's not
going
for
to.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, there's a Gundam commercial that's
Yeah.
about a family mourning their kid who
What?
died, and they thought they had ruled it a suicide, but then they found out that they had delivered the Victory Gundam gunpla that he was going to build. He was like, I knew it wasn't a suicide. He wanted to live. This is a Gundam commercial.
That's fucking awesome. It's like a judge can rule out.
It's also a saga because eventually the dad for closure builds the gunplow his son wanted to build.
It's like a multi-commercial story.
Yeah.
A lot of these are like the fucking, what was it, Long Man, gum ones?
Yeah.
God.
And at the very end, he marries the long man.
Our fucking commercials suck.
I know.
Like, Jesus Christ.
If the commercials were anything like Japanese commercials, I would actually sit through them. I wouldn't skip through them on YouTube or whatever.
I think that should be the thing. YouTube commercials need to reach that strat of like, okay, well, I need to tune in for the next commercial. Hopefully I gotcha, roll it on my ad for whatever this.
If you don't believe in your product enough to make an entire small universe and storyline behind it, then why would we care about it?
I think we're going to get into kind of mild spoilers, like spoilers. This is when like, I think we're going to talk a bit more about the plot itself actually and what happens, because there's some stuff that happens that is both really cool and kind of cringe that I wanted to get into. So,
Okay.
spoilers. I'm pretty sure Captain Marvel and Valkyrie are fucking.
Oh my God.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's probably hot. It's probably
as soon
so
as
hot.
they hugged, I was like, yes, this is great. I ship this very hard. This is fantastic.
And it was just the right amount of queerness that you could show to a Chinese audience.
Exactly.
They're just good friends.
Yeah.
They're just pals, just like those two Sailor Moon characters that are cousins, I swear. So at the very beginning of the movie, we see that Brie Larson's kind of frustrated and she's like, I'm alone and I made a stupid mistake and I'm an idiot. And so she's running around like trying to fix what she fucked up at the end of her movie, which was in the 90s. And so at the end of the Captain Marvel movie, a part that we don't see is her committing war crimes.
I don't know.
Yes, she destroys.
Is that a war crime?
She did technically punish a bunch of civilians.
Did she though?
No,
Are you saying that they're all complicit in the genocide of
No,
the
she,
Skrulls?
she destroyed. Okay,
Someone bring up the Geneva
okay.
Convention.
It may be a war crime because she kind of like assassinated the world leader.
Sure.
But the world leader's not alive.
Yeah, it's an AI.
Yeah, that's
I
like
We
guess that's
just
a
saw the
different-
creator, Cameron.
Yeah.
They're alive.
Okay, but yes, Captain.
I guess I didn't take that story to heart.
Wow. Our favorite
Maybe it
movie of the
is.
year, and
Yes.
you weren't paying attention.
Maybe it is your
At-
movie, Keon.
At
There you
the
go.
end of the Captain Marvel movie, she
Yes.
tells Jude Law's character of how, I'm gonna destroy the Central Intelligence because, like, screw them, they're brainwashing people and I
Yeah.
hate them and I'm gonna liberate all y'all. And in this movie, they actually show the footage of her doing that and her just destroying this machine, which sent the Kree?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, which sent the Kree home world into a big civil war. And she's like, oopsie. That was
Yeah,
bad.
whoops. And so not only does that get rid of like all of the elements, earth, wind, fire, water. And so she's
And
like,
Spirit, which is Brie Larson.
Yeah, and heart, exactly.
Yeah. By your powers combined, I'm Captain Marvel. Yeah.
When she shows up and does it, it's kind of fucking rad because her eyes are glowing.
She just walks in. She doesn't, there is no like lead up.
I literally,
Yeah.
I wish I turned to you and said this. I literally had a moment of her going like Super Saiyan Karen and be like, let me speak to your manager. And, like, it just came in and like her eyes are glowing and she's fucking like Super Saiyan, like killing everyone. It was so awesome.
So I do want to add this because I did go back after watching this movie. I did go back and watch the Captain Marvel
really?
movie. Because I'm like, I haven't seen that in a while. I'm curious, and I forgot that a big message of that film is the Kree just constantly telling her of like control your emotions because they want her to like not explode and kill everyone.
Whoops.
And this is the big thing is like she's just like at the end. So it actually makes sense story wise.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
end of this, she's like, nah, screw you. And she doesn't control her emotions and she just kills them. And then she's
shit.
regretting that decision.
That's pretty good. Damn. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't think about that. And they did a comic accurate version of the Supreme Intelligence, that weird looking head thing.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
they didn't show in Captain Marvel, but I like that it made an appearance
Well,
here.
the thing is, in Captain Marvel, she never goes to the actual Supreme Intelligence
Yeah.
She's like
system.
jacked
she just
in.
goes to like,
Yeah,
goes
she
to, like-
matrix is in.
She goes to her local parole office or whatever.
Exactly. And then they do the Code Lyoko sequence. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
When she downloads into the Matrix.
Exactly. Yeah, she destroys that and it ruins the Kree homeworld. And that's what brings, I think her name is Dan Ben or something. Dare Ben. I looked it up and it was like a ridiculous Star Wars-esque name. So fucking stupid.
Famous
Put
jizz
it up on-
musician Dare Ben.
Yes, exactly. She's a jizz whaler. And so she is like, fuck this, you suck. She has a literal gravity hammer. We talked in the theater, it's just like, this is just Halo 3. They're playing Halo 3. And they have mods on.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the birthday month.
Yeah, holy shit, I forgot. They explode.
Yay.
God. And so in the movie, she's basically going about trying to fix the Kree homeworld and be like, I'm going to bring an end to the Civil War. And so she starts off just being like, hey, we're kind of fucked. And I realize that I have a bunch of shit on my planet. And the Skrull technically didn't do anything wrong. So I'm just going to like try to make a peace accord.
Yeah, we'll trade. You come back to our world where we probably will kill you again, but we're not going to say that part out loud.
Yeah.
And in return, we will strip your planet of its atmosphere.
Yeah. And then straight up, Captain Marvel shows up. He's like, you brought basically the Terminator here. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And we're also going to steal your atmosphere. And that began the reason why we have Valkyrie show up. Is they're just like, we need a place on Earth to house a Skrull. And this is why this movie should have come out in 2022. Because what show just ended? Well, not Loki, but the one before Loki. Which show just fucking ended on Disney Plus?
I think it was about an invasion that was kind of secretive. What would you call a show like that?
Werewolf by Night.
AI generated garbage is what I would fucking call the intro. God. But yeah.
Werewolf by Night's in color now. Why?
What did they really?
Yes, that's an actual thing.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Did you know you can watch the Justice League Snyder Cut in color too? In Secret Invasion, Nick Fury comes down from space. He's a fucking withered old man and is tired of this bullshit. Yeah. And he fucking ruins global politics in a week and fucking then leaves again. And so technically he is in space at the beginning and end of that show.
Yeah.
But I think this would have made way more sense at the beginning of the show, because then the Skrull would go to a planet that it doesn't really matter if they're there or not. But now they're sending them to a planet where they will be killed on sight if they're green at all. As well as Nick Fury is kind of a fucking goose in this movie.
Yeah, I don't understand. This was the same thing I was talking to Sam about when she was watching Captain Marvel. I was like, what is it about Captain Marvel that like he's just not himself? He's just having a good time.
Yeah, he's very chill and happy in the Captain Marvel franchise.
Yeah. And that's fair, because in all of the other movies, I feel like it's like when you hang out with that one friend that just gets you, and you're mean to everybody else. But then you have he's like, Captain Marvel's cool though, and I like being silly around her. In the first, like in the entire Avengers, MCU franchise before Captain Marvel, it was like he had this gritty backstory about his eye getting fucking cut. Captain America says it's just like, well, I trust him. And he's like, well, you know what happened last time I trusted somebody? Got this eye. And that person he trusted was a fucking cat.
It was not a cat. It was a
Florgadite or whatever.
Florkin.
Oh, Florkin? Is
yes.
that the?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because in that movie, he loses an eye because a fucking cat, that space cat.
And they allude to it so many times.
Goose.
Yes.
So many times in the movie do they do like, is your eye okay? Yeah, it's fine. But it doesn't believe what it's seeing. Like they just keep, that's the scene when they do the alien autopsy in Captain Marvel. They literally say like, it looks like he got like bludgeoned in the eye. So you're like, oh wait, maybe this is the thing that made him have to get the eye patch. It's like, how's your eye? It's like, it's fine, but it can't believe what it's seeing.
That's the big thing.
And then they look at an alien dick.
Because that's the big thing all the audiences wanted to know in 2019 was what happened to Nick Fury's eye.
And the reason I bring that up is that there were a couple throwaway lines where like he's holding a flirkin or whatever, and then it's like about to scratch him. It's like, oh, not my other eye. And I was like, oh, that's cute. It's still stupid because it's dumb that your eye you lost your cool eye because of a cat. But anyway, I digress. He's doing this silly B plot with Ms. Marvel's family, who he brings into space inexplicably. Like, am I crazy?
What was the excuse? They wouldn't let her go otherwise?
Yeah, like basically.
Oh yeah, they're her guardians.
Yeah.
She's 16.
Yes.
Shit.
She's a minor.
Yeah, but also I think it's implied that like whatever's going on, she would also be in danger, and therefore her family would also be in danger.
That's fair.
Because her family literally gets attacked by aliens in the start of this movie.
And they do destroy their house.
Yeah.
So that's fair.
Yeah.
Hopefully wrecking.
Oh yeah, they were
damage
just in
control
space because they had other agents there like rebuilding the house.
I hope so. I hope damage control was like, oh, we got this. This is like a small project for us. This is like a tax write-off. This is nothing.
And then they blew up the house as a tax write-off.
Exactly. They're with Nick Fury in the kind of space colony arc, whatever the fuck. Did I just make a Sonic reference without thinking about it?
I think so.
Holy shit.
Pretty sure it's called the Saber Base.
Okay.
But I like your thing more. My favorite part's when Dr. Eggman yells, "I'll
says
piss on the moon."
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking piss on the moon, you idiot. So they go up there and they just have a completely separate B plot with the fucking, I don't know if you can see it in the background, but with the weird cat egg thing.
Wait, wrong way.
Yeah, there you go. It was just silly enough that I didn't hate it, I guess.
It was perfect.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was great.
It was cute. They talk about taxes. No retirement.
Fuck, that was awesome. You were so mad.
We've had that exact conversation.
Literally, like,
we had that conversation the night before.
Yeah.
Look at this representation.
So awesome.
It's never too early to save either. How old are you?
300.
Well, coincidence, you're about the same age. That was such a good throwaway line.
It is incredible that the one bearded bald guy, just like us, was talking about
that.
taxes.
Was the best. That was like what I was saying. Like, is like Miss Marvel. I feel so seen. All the quirks of her family are unambiguously exactly the same in ours.
It's so good. Representation feels good, you know?
Yeah.
So they get their own little B plot with the eggs and the cat stuff. During the entire movie, I don't really think we're really brushing over too much, just because it starts off with the bad guy, like, taking the atmosphere from the Skrull place. Skrulls have to go somewhere else. And then the only other place that I think that we really need to think about before the end of the movie is that they go to a planet where they can only speak in song and dance.
I think it was before the training montage, they figure out like, oh, because of the Civil War, the Kree homeworld is messed up.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to steal the 3 elements. And so water is next.
Water, fire, and air.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, what planet has a ton of water? And Captain Marvel's like, I know of a planet that has a ton of water for reasons. Don't ask for why.
Yeah.
And then you figure out why.
Yeah, and to which I had a moment where I was like, okay, this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's probably a gajillion planets that have an atmosphere that you could steal where there aren't people on it. What the fuck's going on? And then they play, like, she's literally like, oh, that's a planet I like. She's going to planets I like. That sucks. This sucks. I don't like this. This movie's so about COVID that they literally had a shot of a bunch of people wearing masks and then taking them off, and they were like, our liberator, she solved COVID. This is fucking incredible.
We can breathe again.
Yes, exactly. The
You went to
nature
a
is
planet
healing.
where the entire atmosphere was just COVID vaccine.
Yes,
And
exactly.
she brought it to their planet.
They were all being microchipped at all times. Of the day.
Exactly.
It was terrible.
I mean, apparently they were, according to the first Captain Marvel.
Yeah, like
movie.
they're kind
Oh,
of.
fuck, you're right. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Is this an anti-vaxxer movie? So they go to this next place, Aladna, something like that.
Sure. Pasadena.
Yeah, Pasadena, California. And they talk with the prince, who is actually legally married to Captain Marvel, and then she gets to sing like she did in 2005 song. It's fucking awesome. They have an adorable exchange in which the actor that plays this prince is actually a Korean like television star, I think. I don't know if he's a movie star. He does a lot of he was in a lot of South Korean dramas.
There's a lot of Subway commercials, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And I think this was his first Hollywood debut. And it was also Iman Vellani's first Hollywood debut, because I didn't realize she's never been in anything besides Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
I think Marvel has their talons in her. Is like, you're ours. You don't get to, this is the one thing you care about, and you get to hang out
After
and do
John
this thing.
Boyega was like, you're not going to
Yeah.
Disney Plus me, they're like, we'll only Disney Plus stuff from now on.
Yeah, you're welcome. To which, another funny thing on set is that apparently Brie Larson, I mean, being a not only musician, but also award-winning actress, on set, Iman Vellani would just be like, oh yeah, and this is from that other comic and blah, blah, blah. And Brie Larson's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because she doesn't know shit about Marvel. Like, she doesn't care at all. So like, there's interviews of her just being like they're like, what is something you learned from the other person? He's like, well, Iman Vellani actually gives a fuck about this. So it's really nice seeing her enjoy herself while we were all soul-sucked adults, like wanting to leave. So yeah, all of them were just like, it was really fun just hanging out with her on set. So I thought that was really cute.
But I feel like that's like, that is like such a sign of like, there actually there's some hope here. If we don't let enough executives get in the way of like making a good story, the same way Robert Downey Jr.'s like charisma and shrewdness helped make the first phase of the MCU a thing where like he's like, his brand helped carry on all these films so that they could become their own little snowball. We kind of lost that charisma and that excitement.
Yeah.
The joy that she was having off camera seemed to translate on camera as well. Amongst the whole cast.
Yeah, like every single time she would do a bit about like how, like she literally does a like, oh, Captain, my Captain thing. And it is the cutest. Well, it's the thing is like, it's objectively cringe.
Oh, that was
It's-
great.
Well,
No, but the point is like, it's cringe in that same way that when you were in like high school and you had that one like superstar crush that like, you're never going to meet this person.
Sure.
But for some reason, you just know you'd follow them into the gates of hell.
I liked how at the beginning of the movie, when they introduced Ms. Marvel, they brought in some of the like art style and stuff that was in her TV show, like
Oh,
the
shit, you're
like
right,
animation
yeah.
stuff and the things on the screen and
Yeah.
the drawings.
And I think in the very beginning, like they show her trying to like draw hands and they're like just big oven mitts. It's like, oh man, why are hands so hard to draw? Wasn't that like a famous like Marvel artist could never do hands,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like a cool little weird Easter egg, I guess. And it was really nice. It was really nice, all of her like passion for it. But I agree that she is probably one of the only actors that could do something that feels really cringe, but make it like endearing. Like a
Because she's
fun
young
high school-
enough. It's like
Yes,
it's
yeah.
her immaturity helps sell that.
Yeah, you're right. It reminds me of like, I remember being cringe. Oh, what a great time. Good for her. So yeah, so they're all connected in that way and they're going to that like singing planet thing. And they meet, yes, a Korean TV star. And he's great. And he did well. And they suck the sea out of the thing. And that's about it. I don't remember anything really important happening on that planet.
They fought.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah.
their outfits.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah, she got the scarf.
Yes.
She got the scarf.
God, I'm so happy about that. Yeah, in comics, she has a scarf. Well, she had a scarf in the show, but it didn't do a whip. Hey,
There's
use a
also,
scarf.
there's also
Just
an
whip it.
important.
Yeah. Whip it good.
There's also a very important thing that happens on that planet, which is you see Miss Captain Marvel's hubris,
Yes.
not understanding she's on a team. She's like, I can get there. I can do the thing. And then Miss Marvel, somehow this 16-year-old girl is the only one with her head on straight, like hits the
Yeah.
jump button so they don't get blown up by missiles.
Yeah. She deliberately is like trying to be such a member of the team that they're like, don't use your powers. Get the fuck out of here. And then, yeah, the prince is like, use your scarf. You don't need to use your powers. Use a scarf. And then it works out that way.
And it's like really earned because like the first time she goes to like help the Skrulls on that one planet, she's like, why aren't we doing more? They're like,
Yeah.
you don't know what
Yeah.
you're doing to begin with. And then she's on the second planet, like, why aren't we doing more? And they're like, you don't know what you're doing. But this time she actually does take an action that is unambiguously good.
This is one of the few Marvel movies where we just, by proxy, see a bunch of people die on a planet. Like the Skrulls who have been kicked this entire fucking franchise, just like are the only people we see abandoned, being like rocks fall, everybody dies.
It would also
like,
be a
on
much
screen.
better
Yeah.
motivator in Secret Invasion to be clear, like, hey,
Yeah.
these guys
Yes.
have no qualms about killing humans because no one's had qualms about killing them.
And they literally have nowhere to go. We literally just saw
Yeah.
like one of the kings of the Skrulls was like, bro, we are literally out of options.
Our refugee planet got destroyed. We're going to our backup plan. Cue
Yeah.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah, exactly. Damn, that would have been a good lead into Secret Invasion, actually. That would have been more understandable, I
and
guess.
then they could make a completely different show that would have been
Yes.
better.
Yes,
And
they could have made a good show.
That would have been
actually.
amazing.
Yeah, so they do all that. And yeah, they have a pretty good set of scenes where all of the characters have their little mind meld thing. I don't know if that was before or after Aladna. And it's a
I think that was
cool,
before.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
before when they were all syncing up.
but they have a bit more of a heart to heart where it's just like, okay, I'm kind of fucking up and I'm being a bit of an asshole. And in particular, I like that they did a little hug. That was nice. But also that the way that they kind of like speak to each other, it didn't feel like they were all having like turmoil, but it wasn't the kind of thing of like, you're a jerk, you're a jerk. It's like one of them would snap and the other one's like, I'm sorry I snapped at you, and they're like, I understand, thank you. Like it
This is a
was
heavy situation. And
Yeah.
we all acknowledge that maybe when the entire universe is on the line,
Yeah.
people will get
They
a little upset.
didn't do a dumb like, oh, we got into a tiny spat and so one of us is gonna storm off and then we're gonna
Yes.
have a montage of us being sad and lonely.
in our one room quarantine ship, storm off.
We're gonna each be in our corners.
Oh, man, and it was really good. I appreciate that there were the turmoil in the script did not have to be amongst them. Like, yeah, they had spats, but they were like, we're cool with each other. This is fine. This works out. And then we finally get to the fucking eggs. I want to talk about the eggs real quick.
All right.
Because literally everything that happened on the fucking spaceship had nothing to do with the movie, which is a quintessential B plot.
No, I think I told you this. I made the realization.
Yeah.
The A plot, the
Yes.
Marvels running around, that's very like Flash Gordon, Star Wars-esque space opera.
I agree.
The B plot is Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century.
Yeah.
Holy
They're on a
shit.
spaceship. The spaceship is falling out of the sky. They don't know how everyone's gonna survive. They don't know what the thing is. Oh wait, no, that's the second one with the aliens.
You are correct, yes.
Yeah.
They had to sing a song.
They had to sing a song. They had to do the first
They
concert in
did zoom
space.
zoom, and you're about to go boom boom my supernova
Yeah,
girl.
and that's why the cats followed them
Yeah.
to the spaceship.
You're right. God, I don't think I've enjoyed it. So Marvel is full of all these references, but the best reference they've had was playing cats while they're hurting cats.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Playing Memory.
Yeah.
Well, they're playing
From
Memory
Cats.
from
Alone in the
Cats.
Moonlight.
Yes.
Yes. God. And like when it crescendos, we just see cats like floating in zero gravity. Incredible. But yeah, so apparently Goose has been laying a bunch of eggs around. Goose has been laying eggs.
Yes, because Goose is a silly goose.
What a silly goose.
Yeah.
And one of the cats you can apparently get in the eggs is golden. I don't know why like golden.
That's
Goose
objectively the
golden
worst
eggs.
cat.
Yeah.
That's horrible. I don't want that.
You're
Yeah.
right. There's like the goose with the golden egg. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah, but this is stupid. Like that.
That's
Why would I
not
want
even
that?
in the movie. There's nothing about a golden cat in the movie.
They're gonna take advantage of this, okay?
Yes, exactly.
If
They're
it's
like,
a goose, it's eggs.
We wanted one that you only need one thing of paint to cover, so we're just making it gold. So they finally get to the bottom of where the fuck are all these eggs coming from? Because in my mind, I was like, are the bad guys like teleporting in eggs? What the fuck? It was Goose running around and doing an aliens to them and like fucking leaving eggs everywhere. And then it turns out they were all a bunch of little kittens. And they were very cute. And I'm pretty sure the only actual cat that was on set was just Goose. And every other cat was either CG'd or composited in. Like they all looked like green
Probably.
screen. But it wasn't a bad thing. I think it was cute. It was
Yeah.
good. And then they go and they literally herd cats. And that's when the Marvels show up.
I will never get over Samuel L. Jackson's reaction to a cat. He loves cats in Captain Marvel, and he loves cats in this movie. It's just like the best part. There's something about like Nick Fury just not being a hard ass that's extremely endearing to me.
Which is such whiplash from Secret Invasion. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
So they solve like a Star Trek-esque problem of like, how do we get everybody off this ship? There's not enough escape pods. We'll make them get vored by fucking cats. And I don't think I've been more horrified and entertained in recent memory in a Marvel film than by a voice on the intercom saying, "Don't panic. Let the cats consume you. All will be fine. You will be one with cat." And like slow motion, people horrifically being swallowed by cats. And then, yeah, Ms. Marvel being like, "I'm sorry." And then holds it like a Gatling gun and just starts like pointing at people and eating them in a horrible squiddly way. It was amazing.
It's just like the scene of the woman hiding behind a wall, terrified of the kitten, and another kitten comes. She just,
It gets jump scared by a cat. It's fucking great. Oh god, it was like legitimately very good. I don't think they remotely needed that plot point or any of that, but it was fun enough. I enjoyed it.
well, they needed a justification for how to get them off the spaceship, and they needed to sell toys that they could just resell cats.
Wow, yeah, now anytime you pick up a cat plush, be like, no, this is a Flurkin, you see.
Yeah.
It was the one from the movie.
And they need to fill some of the runtime.
For an hour and 48-minute movie, a good amount of that was spent on cats. And that was a very enjoyable part. And then they get like shot out of the thing with a bunch of kittens, and they land at the Empire State Building.
No, they land in Battery Park.
Yeah.
No, I thought
By
it was the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they land, and this is why I think this movie could fit anywhere in the MCU, is because a lot of the MCU takes place on Earth. The only people I think that would have noticed that the sun had like a little bit of a solar band would be a stupid fucking meteorologist, one of those fucking nerds. So like, I don't think anybody else in the MCU would really care, unlike the Eternals, where a giant fucking head popped into the ocean. But this one's like, there was a little bit less sun one day.
It's weird that no one talks about the events that happen in the Eternals, which makes me wonder,
Isn't there still a hand sticking out of the ground?
Like, is that even in their universe? Are they just gonna write that off?
I can't wait for it to be like 5 years from now and we finally get a damage control movie and it's just about all this stuff in the background. Or like a what if episode at least, where it's literally about them with a giant crane like fishing it out of the water.
We're gonna get another montage that was in Spider-Man European Vacation of like of just like the background characters scorned by Tony Stark. It's gonna be just the background events and the
Yeah,
cleanup
it's just
of
gonna be
it.
like a dude with a crane, and like in the distance you could hear is like vacation silence.
Like they're on their headphones.
No, like they just like they could hear like the other people having
Yeah.
fun, but they're just having to clean this up.
God, I would Marvel damage
Hire
control
us.
movie. Damage control movie would be very fun. So they're finally on Earth. They're like, oh no, she's gonna destroy Earth. I dislike that. This is bad. And so what technically destroy Earth by proxy.
Take the energy from our sun.
Yes.
So destroy our solar system.
Yes. And I find it so silly that it's one of those things where in movies where you see like there's a problem and there is a very obvious solution where like, wasn't it even I don't remember if it was Ms. Marvel or it was Spectrum / Monica Rambeau.
Spectrum, Photon,
Captain
Martin,
Rambeau.
Yeah, who's literally just like, you are big solar lady. go restart their fucking sun, you goose.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, but I don't want to. And then they like,
No, she doesn't say I don't want it. She says I've never done that before. And then Monica very obviously says I've just done a lot of stuff I haven't done before. What is your excuse?
God, Monica holding those drinks while they're all singing in Aladna or whatever is the energy I have every day of just like, who gives a fuck? I'm a drink over here. And I'm chaperoning a 16-year-old. God. So yeah,
you're probably chaperoning both 16-year-olds.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like Brie Larson's character has ever like grown up from when she lost her memory because she's still trying to find them.
Yeah. To which, it was one of those states of Arrested Development where you have the character who's kind of just like, I'm still mentally back where I was when I was fucking trying to avenge my past and make sense of whatever the fuck I did. She's still like probing her memories, especially when it's just like, that's a Kree torture device. What are you doing? I swear it's safe. It's fine. All the cool kids are doing it. And so,
want some death sticks?
Yeah, exactly. And so they finally have the final confrontation with Dar Ben or whatever the fuck their name was. And
famous jazz artist.
Yes.
Thank you so much for bringing that joke back. I love you so much. You have the perfect life in the world.
And so they're fighting, and they do an incredibly good fight scene. I think that was really great. The way that they were like teleporting around.
And that was cute. And they had much improved teleportation. So like growth.
Well, the genius thing to me about the teleportation is the problem we always see in these fight scenes is there's a lot of back and forth cuts where it's just like this person is here, they do a punch, now they're over here, they do a punch. It's very annoying. The teleportation is a fun quirk because it limits how effective each end of them can be on their own.
Yeah.
So it adds a certain kind of like stake to the fight, but also it allows for these weird, not long cuts where like, as you're watching it, you're watching the bad girl get her ass kicked, but the person kicking her ass is constantly changing. So the camera, to really sell that effect, is trying to stay on the fight and not cut away as much as possible.
It's one of those things that probably was very complicated to coordinate, but looked effective and good, like on its own. Like you didn't really need that much of a piecing together. We weren't watching fucking Primer. We were watching
that's so funny.
like everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah. Because in Tenet, they have a fight scene where one guy's fighting backwards, and everyone's like, this movie doesn't make any sense. Like, could you not just stop for a minute to think about how confusing it must have been to explain this to your like stunt director?
Yes. And this was, I don't know how they coordinated it, but it looked very fun and very good. And then they did the quintessential, I'm the bad guy. You've trapped me under rubble and stabbed me in the one place that won't kill me. We've all established in movies. And you're a big meanie and I fucking hate you. And then Captain Marvel's like, calm down for a sec. I can solve your problem. We can be bros. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doomed your entire civilization and ruined your entire life.
We all make oopsies.
Yeah, exactly. But please, in the next 10 seconds, retrain your entire brain and all of your vengeance to trust me for a second. Trust you? Totally. I'll totally trust you.
Psych.
Yes. And then like not kidnaps. What is it? Like holds hostage Ms. Marvel is like, I will splatter her ahead like an egg if you don't back the fuck off and give me the bangle. He's like, oh wow, I don't know why she would do this. That's so weird that she didn't immediately trust us. I
said the nice thing.
I said sorry. It worked on Ms. Marvel, and she said it's okay. And so she takes the bangles and solidifies, I guess, like a piece of lore we saw earlier, which is at the end of Ms. Marvel. Spoilers for Ms. Marvel. We see she has the bangle. Bangle give her power, right? But then her friend is like, by the way, I took your DNA for some fuck off reason, and I DNA traced it. Whatever. You happen to be a mutant. There we go. Perfect.
Muty. That's a shout out for anyone who watched the 90s X-Men and no one else.
God. Yeah, we have like that X-Men tie-in, and I forgot about it because she gets her bangle taken off, right?
Yeah.
But then she still has her powers. I'm like, oh yeah, duh. Like, you're a mutant or whatever.
Yeah,
you still have
it's
the
implied
powers.
that it helped unlock her mutant powers.
Yes.
But there's also canonically not mutants in this specific MCU reality.
Yes, and we'll get to that in a second. But then she, the bad guy takes the two bangles, and she's like, don't do that, your own hubris. And she's like, what's hubris? And then fucking kills
Hubris
herself.
is the folly of man. I be it the woman.
I am no man. Yes. You fuck. That's great. And then she snappenings herself and fucking disintegrates. She's like, how could I have foreseen this problem?
Yeah. Oh no, maybe I was a man the whole time.
God.
Okay, but to talk more about the main baddie, I do appreciate that the villain isn't quite a villain. The villain's just selfish, but the villain has good intentions of I need to save my homeworld. And also from having watched the Captain Marvel film again, fits very much into Kree logic of like, you know, we do everything for the Kree. Because her whole thing is about, I don't care about my life. I will sacrifice my life to help all these people. And she does that until the very end, and she literally sacrificed her life. But doesn't help, but she's still just in that mindset of like, I have to do it. I have to do all this thing. I can't trust other people, which is what Captain Marvel's character was also going through. But she had a team.
But it's like it's like proper Greek tragedy.
Connection.
No, it's like proper Greek tragedy that like Ms. Marvel creates her own villain. Right? Like this woman's not running around destroying the galaxy for fun. She is doing it because she has a specific mission. And the like part of it that makes her the villain as opposed to just a good person is the fact that she's not going to arbitrary planets and taking their resources. She is doing it vindictively against Captain Marvel because of the fact that like they all recognize her as the Annihilator. And at the very end, there's like that glimpse of like, she could have just gotten what she wanted and not had to worry about Captain Marvel anymore, but her own vindictive behavior is what overcomes her and makes her this violent jackass who to herself valiantly kills herself. But like, I think the important thing to what you said about how she doesn't have a team, she does have a team. Like there's that one guy who's always like talking to her and checking in with her. But the point is like, no one checks her on her BS. The way the like other characters around Captain Marvel check her on her BS. And so she's never getting reined in for like what incredibly bad takes she has of every situation.
Showing the duality of them.
The duality of woman.
Yes, that the one group is a team and the other one is a mean person and some
duality of woman.
Pretty good, Cameron.
I'm full of these.
So they have their Final Fantasy VII Advent Children fight. It's rad. And they get
comes in on a motorcycle. Yeah, we know.
Exactly. Yeah, and Sephiroth stabs the bad guy in the tummy and winks and flies away. They get the bangles back immediately. They're like, wow, what an idiot. And they're like, oh well, we stopped.
She died.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they're like, she's not using these.
She wouldn't want to be buried. She wouldn't want to have been buried with those. They're fine. So they take them back. And then they're like, oh no, she made a hole in the space-time continuum by clicking the bangles together. I can't wait for Shang-Chi to meet Ms. Marvel and be like, same. And so they have a hole in the fucking universe, and then Photon / Spectrum / Monica Rambeau.
Frontier, yeah,
exactly.
Comcast.
She uses her optical fiber, to bring...
Oh my god! Come on, that was good. That was good. Wow. That was perfect.
I'm very proud of the joke.
You should be. That was extremely funny.
So they shoot optical their energy at
her.
They
shoot their high-speed internet.
Yes, exactly. She gets the whole gigabit fiber Wi-Fi, and she turns super like bright, and it's awesome. I thought somebody was going to call her Light Bright because she had a Light Bright in Captain Marvel. So I thought that would have been a funny call.
That's why she knows how to make things with light.
Yeah.
That's shit. You're right.
Light Bright makes things of light.
Yeah.
Is that the thing?
Light Bright, make it things with light bright.
Yeah. Yes. That makes sense.
Yes, I know the one joke.
Yeah. So they shoot all the light into her. She becomes a big light bulb, and then she goes into the hex thing, the jump point, and she fixes the whole thing.
I just realized she can only use her power with hexagons.
Yes,
because the big hex that she gets her spectrum powers from. Yeah. And then this is a smaller hex, and she already knows how to deal with hexagons. So that's why she's able to deal with this hexagon.
And like Witch's hex, another hexagon.
No, her hex is a hexagon. It's a giant hexagon.
No, wait.
The hex is like a double entendre in WandaVision.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that's why that was my second part of my very funny joke. That's
I pointed it out.
Yeah, it works on so many levels. I'm very proud of you, Cameron. You're full of them. So then she goes into the thing and she's just like, I'm gonna die now, like, or be whatever.
I'm tired of being in this movie now.
To which I was frustrated. I was like, I like that character. I like her. I didn't feel like she got too much like of her own thing to do in this movie. She mostly was reacting to what everybody else was doing, but I think it was still fine. She's like, okay, I'm gonna make the sacrifice. I'm a hero. I'm super cool. And then she gets trapped in another universe, and it had a cool moment of like her like speeding towards the hexagon thing, the jump point, and then like going through it. That was pretty cool.
And then she's all alone again.
I mean, so is Monica Rambeau until the mid-credit scene. We'll get there in a second. unfortunately, yeah, no, Captain Marvel's alone. Until she goes and gives a hug to Miss Marvel, and it was very nice. And then they go back on Earth, and it was one of those moments where, have you guys seen the movie Whiplash?
No.
Okay, never mind.
I know everything about it, but I have not actually watched the movie end to end.
Well, it reminds me, or also like Black Swan, where like the end of the movie is a triumph, but you think like, oh, the rest of this person's life is gonna be fucked. And that was literally Miss Marvel landing on Earth and being like, we lost Monica. I'm like, oh, buddy, get ready for the rest of your fucking life of losing probably a character, a movie. And so they land on Earth, all is well with the world, and Captain Marvel goes off and restarts the sun, is like, mea culpa, I hope that fixed, you guys good? Cool? Solve COVID? Bye. And then so, I guess that's her way of making the Kree feel all right. And was there much else that happened at the end of the movie?
Yeah, they went and did
to Louisiana.
Yeah.
Fuck! Oh my god, that title card was really funny. Because
Yeah.
they're like, here's a like an exotic planet, Louisiana.
The most dangerous place they go in the entire movie.
God.
Especially for a brown character.
We should make like a chart of like their risk of death, and then it just spikes at the end.
Pan-dimensional wormhole, very low risk of death. Rural Louisiana, catastrophic.
Way up.
Yeah, and then they have a touching moment where they reclaim the house of what's her name, Monica Rambeau's mom.
Yeah, Captain Rainbow.
Rambo.
Yeah. Yes, and yeah, they hang out there. They help her move. I thought that was kind of weird that the Miss Marvel's family is like, we're just gonna help you move.
Yeah, they're very nice.
They are very nice, but they
Yeah.
travel all the way to Louisiana.
They're
to
very
help her move.
hospitable.
Well, to be fair, that is her like daughter's idol / new best friend.
That is.
And also, I couldn't tell if they were also moving into the house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure
right.
about that either.
Because she literally says the like line that every mom says to their kids is like, "Oh, it'd be a nice house to raise some children in. I would love some grandchildren,
Yeah.
you loser."
That's a good point. What if she? I think she just doesn't have a filter, and she's like, "Hey, Miss Captain Marvel, you should have children."
No, she was saying that
No,
to her
she's a
son.
son.
No,
Yeah.
Who is married.
I know, but like, oh my god, that him hitting the remote, fuck, that was the best joke of the whole fucking movie. I was like, wow, this is great.
I feel so seen.
Very real.
This is like before I felt seen. Now I feel like I'm under a microscope.
Yes, I'm in this and I like it. And so yeah, they hang out. They're just like, wow, this is a cool place. And yeah, it finishes off Captain Marvel's arc of being alone in space on her own little martyrdom tour. And then now she's kind of solved everything, and now she can kind of chill out for a little bit until the next Avengers movie, probably.
Wait, that also, wow, that really also doesn't make sense in terms of Secret Invasion. Like,
Oh yeah, because she's on Earth during
she's
Secret
just-
Invasion.
So like, what's she just doing the whole time?
So I guess this makes sense in this continuity because she's on Earth after Secret Invasion, but at the same time, you're on Earth after Secret Invasion. You should probably help out. Like,
Well, I could also explain like why New Asgard was like the place where the Skrull were going.
yeah,
Because before it was implied the Skrull are just like all over the planet.
Yeah.
But like New Skrull wouldn't want to go all over the planet. So
they're
they
being
probably go to
hunted
New
now.
Asgard, which is like a sovereign entity in their world.
it's just so messy.
Yeah. But
Like,
it's still weird. It's also just weird because like if Secret Invasion has happened, like,
Yeah.
you know, Nick Fury's just real happy.
yeah, Jesus
He's just
Christ.
chilling. Okay, so let's get to the part that actually matters.
Yes,
Iman Vellani
yes,
is the new Nick Fury.
yeah.
And it was adorable.
So fucking
so
good.
good.
Yeah, if anybody remembers fucking not 20 years, 15 years ago, I guess.
2008.
Yes.
You just finished watching Iron Man.
Yeah.
You're
You just
watching the
had an
credits roll
economic
because you're a
recession.
good person. You're trying to contemplate the fact that as a millennial, you will never own a
Yeah,
house.
you can't buy or
You're
even
still
think
in
about a
school,
house. Yeah.
and you can't afford to invest in this market while you're still in school.
Every time you go to a movie, it says the end, and then you walk out of the theater and you're like, wow, that was a good movie. I enjoyed myself. He says, I am Iron Man. I guess I'll leave the theater. What is this? It's a darkly lit room and a guy sitting in a chair. It happens to be Nick Fury, who's played by Samuel L. Jackson, and he's saying, I'm just assembling a team. It's very good, and you're like, wow, in 4 years, in 2012, they're going to have a pretty good movie directed by Joss Whedon, and we're going to pretend like we forgot about the Joss Whedon part. But it was pretty good at the time. And then they did a fucking great pastiche to it, where it's fucking, God, just so wholesome.
You'd think we would have a file on other like super kids. I'm 23.
Yeah. So as Miss Marvel points out at the beginning of the movie, they have this top secret iPads. He's like, is this a new iPad? No, it's not. But it's just like, wait,
like,
this
I
is...
wish. It's a funny story. Like, this is not as good as an iPad. We can't afford iPads
Yeah.
apparently.
And
They're
I
the
love
government. Of course they can't afford iPads.
exactly. But yeah, the
They have the
fact that
iPad like 8th generation.
Yeah.
It's not the-
and that I love that she points out is like, oh, why is this holographic and it has classified information on it? Everybody can see that's around you.
Yeah, that seems like
what's
a
on
really
it.
big flaw that you would
Yeah.
have like a tablet that someone from across the room while you're holding it up can just read
Yeah.
the back of it.
She shows her, like, we have your classified information, and bar for bar says almost the exact same thing that Nick Fury did during the mid-credit scene back in Iron Man 1.
Except for she adds one very important word. The magic
Motherfucker.
word.
Motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
Yes, exactly. No, she says please.
Exactly.
at
That's the
very
magic
Please.
word.
Yeah, and I think she also mentions that Ant-Man has a daughter because he does. And so, what other characters are there that would be in this team? I know Hulk has a son that they just unceremoniously
I mean, I
mentioned.
think they
in She-Hulk.
also have like She-Hulk might
Hulk has
actually
a
just
son?
be in it.
Yeah, he like it was
The
like
very
the
end of
very
the Hulk.
last of She-Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have a family scene where
Yeah.
they're all drinking Coronas.
Yeah.
And he's like, life go fast, but sometimes sun goes slow. This is my son.
Oh, okay.
You're always gonna be my brother.
Mhm.
It's great.
And then I assume we're gonna have some kids from the like Thor new ass.
Well, we
you
have
could have-
Ironheart.
Yes.
Mhm.
I was gonna say
Well-
Tony Stark's child.
Oh,
Yeah.
also her. Yeah, yeah.
But we also have Love from Love and Thunder,
Oh shit,
little
you're right.
girl.
I
Oh,
forgot
yeah.
about her too.
Yeah, you've got
who's
her.
a god or something.
Yeah, and does T'Challa's sister count? Does she count as?
Sorry.
Is she really that
Well,
young?
there's also T'Challa's literal son.
Fuck, I
Oh,
forgot.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my
that's probably
God.
more likely.
Yeah, that makes way more sense. So yeah, so now we know that there's going to be a Young Avengers movie. Eventually, I assume that's going to be the next Avengers kind of thing, but it'd be really weird for them to go against Kang. If
I
that's
don't think
what
they're
is
gonna
gonna
go
happen.
against King. Weren't you the one who told us like we don't care about Jonathan Majors anymore? We're just doing Doctor Doom.
Well, apparently, yeah, that's like during an investor meeting, they're like, so by the way, if this Jonathan Majors thing goes south, fingers crossed, knock on wood, it doesn't. Doctor Doom's kind of cool. Let's just do that. So
What if we made the one good Fantastic Four franchise by not having the Fantastic Four in it?
oh, I would, which is so. I think we can finally get to this. That after that scene,
The end-to-end scene.
the end scene, we have Monica Rambeau waking up in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, oh, she just went on a cosmic adventure. It's probably the Fantastic Four. I was looking forward to that. Thought it'd be really cool. And then we see her mom. Her mom shows up and is just like wearing a blanket also. And it's like, hi, I'm not your mom. Well, who's your mom? I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, you off screen. Is she gonna be okay? And who shows up but
Damn, I was waiting to do that.
Fuck you. I was waiting. I gave you the thing.
No. All right, it's Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
I am actually annoyed that they used a CGI Beast instead of like Kelsey Grammer in his like practical makeup from the
This
X-Men
was a piece
movies.
of trivia that this is the first time Beast has not been a prosthetic
Yeah.
in the entire Marvel anything.
Because it looks silly. It
really
always
did,
looks
yeah.
silly because we know what Beast looks like in prosthetic makeup, and it looks good.
Yeah. So we see Beast, and Beast is like, oh, Charles is gonna blah, blah, blah. We find this person. And then she's like, wow, my mom's here, and this is great. And she's like, your mom. And then she takes off the cape.
And it goes,
and,
"Da-na-na-na-na," yeah.
and it goes, da-na-na. And I think we all thought she was Storm or something. She
No.
looked like Storm.
At first, I thought she was Storm because
yeah.
for some reason I thought when she took off her outfit, she had like the like more revealing Storm like white outfit.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure wasn't that the Captain Marvel outfit from Multiverse of
I
Madness?
think so.
No, because
not that
she
one,
died. But the
But I think
it's a
she is a-
multiverse.
But she is isn't she a Captain Marvel
yes,
version?
the
Yeah.
character's name is Binary, and they're another Carol Danvers that who fucking cares if it's actually Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
So they made it Captain Rambeau,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it was fine. That's great. I'm fairly certain that the next movie that has anything to do with X-Men that's coming out is Deadpool. So I really hope that Deadpool's just going to cut a hole in the multiverse and be like, fuck it, I'll go to this one.
Oh my god!
616, who gives a shit?
If they do like Deadpool kills the like Marvel Cinematic Universe, that'd be wild.
That would be fucking crazy. If
That'd be
y'all
dope.
don't know, there was a series that was Deadpool kills. I think he said Deadpool kills the Avengers, and then it was Deadpool kills the universe. And
There's
yeah,
like multiple parts of it because there's one
Yes,
where he's
yeah.
like killing like novel characters.
Yes,
like he
yeah.
goes and kills Moby Dick and Ahab.
yeah. And it's fucking ridiculous and like a really just, hey, I have all of this pent up bullshit that I just want to write out. I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was legitimately a fun time. So I wouldn't mind if they did that, especially that. So Wolverine's going to be like the Wolverine is going to be in the Deadpool movie. So it would make sense for this to be a crossover And for no fucking reason, Monica Rambeau shows up and is like, I'm in this now. I'm on a green screen.
They had
and
an
they're gonna put
entire
this
bit
post."
in the last Deadpool movie where they go to X Manor and they shut the door on the entire other X-Men franchise cast.
God, Ryan Reynolds, good for you. You're living the dream.
I was thinking the first Deadpool film where they were like on the air, was it the airship or whatever was the final battle? It kind of looked like it was.
It was one of the derelict
Yeah.
aircraft carriers from Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Shit, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. So yeah, we're gonna have some sort of crossover eventually with them, and we got Beast, which is nice. He looked fine, and that was basically it. I still feel really conflicted about how good this movie was on its own, but in the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe, how the fuck does this fit in with Secret Invasion? I haven't watched Loki, but like, what the fuck? Like, Loki Part 2.
We just finished
That's
Loki
good.
Part 2.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I should watch
I had
it.
a good time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed how it ended. I'm not going to give away any spoilers.
I'll have to watch it. But yeah, what did y'all think about the movie?
I thought Loki was pretty good.
Sam, what did you think about The Marvels?
I was gonna say I also thought Loki was pretty good.
Fuck.
The big spider was the best part.
God damn. I still need to clip that, the big spider bit we did.
And then, who do we see but the big spider? Everyone loves the big spider.
Did you know that Nicolas Cage didn't even know that was going to happen?
What?
So
Was
apparently,
he in that movie at all? Like, is he credited other than his likeness?
for those of you that don't know, Nick Cage shows up in The Flash for 2 seconds, and apparently he showed up on set and was going to, he literally was just going to look around at all of the like universes colliding on each other. And then when he went and like heard, I don't even think he saw the movie, but when he heard about it and saw the clip, he's like, I didn't do none of that. They faked my face on a fucking 3D model. This is bullshit. To which there were parts in this movie where like Monica Rambeau's in that spacesuit, and I'm like, that's a shitty composite on a 3D model of her head in the astronaut suit.
Well, they couldn't like film her in space.
What?
They have a gajillion
Are you
dollars.
telling me that it's cheaper for them to CGI it than just to fly her in space?
This was the first movie shot in space, and I'm pissed off that they didn't have the budget
they
to
did
send.
the concert. I said it was Xenon the sequel.
They sent every extra into space but her.
Yeah.
There was a scheduling conflict. But yes, what did you think of?
The Marvel.
Okay, thank you.
I thought it was marvelous.
Oh.
Wait, he was asking me.
Oh.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think that it was probably the most like good time I've had in the past couple of years with an MCU movie.
I don't know. Guardians 3 was pretty good too.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, yeah, it was good.
Guardians 3 landed for me.
Guardians 3 made me upset because of all the animal stuff. That was the main thing that like.
That's your own thing.
Yeah, and I agree, but I would
Like
say that
all the animal stuff is why the villain is bad guy.
no,
Yeah.
and I agree.
He's the exact not save the cat.
What I'm saying is, I would not take a child to see that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Besides the
Yeah.
fact that they say shit and damn in this movie a couple times, like this was a good like all around movie. I think you could take most people to. That's what I mean. Is that like this was the kind of MCU fare that I miss from like the early Iron Man movies and the early like Phase 1 MCU stuff.
It felt pretty wholesome,
Yes,
despite
exactly.
people dying.
It was also
Yeah.
like, I guess we've gotten to the point where we can. Does it count as a subversion when you just have characters acting like normal people?
I guess at least they're not doing. No, they were doing some quippy dialogue. It just was less annoying
The
because it was
quippy
really,
dialogues were fun. The quippy
Sure.
dialogue doesn't
Yeah.
feel any more or less quippy than when you and I get into it.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Is it's less like choreographed and like all that stuff, and it's just like, oh, they're saying a clever thing every once in a while. That's fine. And yeah, I think that this was the kind of thing I've missed from the MCU, and they're getting back to it. But primarily, it was at least clever. Like, my God, do I miss just a hard science rule in these kind of movies where it's like, hey, our thing is we all switch places. That's gonna happen when we use our power. Our like an arbitrary rule, and it worked pretty well. I enjoyed it, so I miss that kind of thing.
I was trying to think if this is one of the few Marvel films that doesn't have like a really comedic actor participating,
I think it
or
was
like
just
a comedic
Nick Fury
director.
for some fucking reason.
Samuel L.
Yeah.
Jackson was tired of not getting to reprise his role from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
where
he
it
was
just
like this
did
close
Goose.
to saying motherfucker probably several times. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, this is okay. So let's see it on space. Like, what are the plot elements of this movie that worked well? One, the villain is created by the hero.
Yeah.
Is just good.
Yeah.
Two, they find a quirk that allows a Superman level hero to not just solve the problem constantly.
Yeah, exactly.
She's constantly having to like deal with the fact that she's also part of working with these other two people.
Well, and the villain has something that kind of negates her full power.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then 3, the villain has like actual motivations you can get behind. And also the heroes have like actual character traits and aren't just like there for some reason.
When it comes to a villain, like I have kind of the 3 tiers of it, which is like, in my opinion, the least enjoyable one is like a villain that is kind of not really a villain. Like it's just the idea of like, this is a bad thing that's happening, but it's not an actual villain.
A natural disaster.
Yeah, something like that. And then you have somebody that's just like unapologetically evil. I love that.
Delicious.
Shit. It's just like,
You're
that's like
Darth
A tier.
Sidious.
Yes, yeah. But like S tier, and I mean, guilty pleasure is just a really bad person. But like the S tier one is somebody that is evil, but like to them, they're like, this is completely justified. Literally, I'm just doing like the formula, like going through the steps to get the thing
From
that
my
I
point
want.
of view, the Jedi are evil.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I think that was pretty good. The one thing that I just felt weird about was the fact that she was unceremoniously killed by banging 2 bangles together, you know, and just disintegrates into
Because
dust.
she tried to be Wonder Woman, and she's not Wonder Woman, so she died.
Wrong franchise, dummy.
You
Yeah,
fucking
idiot.
was there anything else you guys wanted to say about the movie?
It's one of the better ones of this latest iteration.
Definitely.
It's nice that I liked that the film involving all the women and the Marvels was just a nice film to go to, and one of the better ones. That was good. As someone who like actually likes the Captain Marvel film, which is kind of rare, most people didn't like it. It was nice to be like, oh, other people seem to also like this film.
Yeah, and I agree. It was just an enjoyable time, and surprisingly like deep in the way that it did its own little superhero action stuff. But it's funny that you mention, and the last thing that I want to say is that it's funny that you mentioned people's reception of the first Captain Marvel movie, because you know who gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd?
I don't even know if that's like 2 out of 10 or 2 out of 5.
I think it's 2 out of 5. Iman Vellani. This is true. And in her review, she said, this is not about Brie Larson, because I would give my own fucking life for Brie Larson.